This is Algebra 2, Lesson 69, and this lesson covers ideal gas law problems. And I know we've already done these, but these are the same problems in a form that's a little bit different, and we're going to solve them a little bit differently. So a quantity of ideal gas has an initial pressure, volume, and temperature values of blah, blah, blah. Find the final temperature if the final pressure is blah, 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 and the final volume is blah, blah, blah. Begin by solving the equation for T2. So, first thing we're going to do is write the gas law. So that is P1 V1 over T1. So pressure times volume over temperature, and that's going to equal 2 over T2. Okay, we're going to try to solve for T2. So what we're going to do first is multiply both of these times the common denominator to get rid of our bottoms. So times T2, T1, and then this side we're going to multiply this times T2, T1. Okay, here we can cancel our T1. So we're going to have P1, V1, T2. Okay, and then here we're going to cancel our T2, and that's going to equal P2, V2, T1. Okay, now I'm going to go in and label all of this stuff. So first one of these numbers should be the pressure. So this is P1, okay, and then the next one's the volume, so this is V1, and then this one's going to be the temperature, so T1. Those are my initial, okay, and then my final is going to be my 2, so the final pressure right here, that's going to be P2, and the final volume right here is going to be V2, and we're looking for T2. So if we're going to solve for T2, I need to find where T2 is and then try to get it by itself. So that'll be, I'm going to divide by P1, V1. Those are going to cancel. And so now my equation is T2 equals P2, V2, T1 over P1, V1. Okay, so I just rearranged the problem. All right, so now I can fill in some values. So P2, I've got that one right here, and I'm going to change that into proper scientific notation. 1, 2, 3, 4, I moved it. Okay, so I'm going to have 4 times 10, and 15 minus 4 will be 11. All right, so that's my P2. And then I'm multiplying that times, I'm just following this, so that's that first one. Now I need V2, which would be right here. I'll change that, 1, 2. So I'm going to have 1.5 times 10, and that will be minus 2, so that will be to the negative 16. Let's see, in the book, they actually changed this to 15 times 10 to the negative 17, so you can do it either way. All right, so I've used those, so I've got P1, P2, V2. Now I need temperature 1, which would be up here, which is 7 times 10. See, I moved it 1, 2. So plus 2, 10 to the 6th. All right, and all that's going to go over my P1, V1. P1 is right here. I'm going to fix that one. So I'm going to have 4 times 10 to the 5th. And then my V1 is going to be 3 times 10. Let's see, I move this one. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that would be minus 4. So that would be negative 10. All right, now all I have to do is try to solve these. So 4 times 15 times 7. Let's see, 4 times 7 is 28, and then we need 28 times 15. I am not going to work with that. I'm just going to multiply it on this calculator. 4 times 7 times 15. $420 times 10. Now we're going to add all our exponents. 11 and 6 will be 17. 17 minus 17. Okay, so that is going to be to the 0. So that's just 10 to the, that's just times 1. Okay, so we won't have any exponents. But if we change that to 4.2, then we moved it 1, 2, so that would be 10 squared. All right, over 3 times 4 would be 12 times 10. See, 5, positive 5, negative 10 would be negative 10. Okay, when we bring that up, that'll be plus 10, 20, 2, by, what was it, 12? By 0.35. So we're going to have 0.35. I just did 4.2 divided by 12 equals, or times 10. Right here, I'm just going to bring this up. So that would be 10 to the 12th, which is the same thing as what the book says, which is, let's see, the book has 35 times 10 to the 5th. Where do we get the 5th? I messed up one of these here somewhere. Okay, so that would be, oh, that should be negative 2. That would be to the 7th. There we go. To the 8th. And then that's the answer. 0.35 times 10 to the 5th, or 35 times 10 to the 5th, no decimal point. All right. 3, 10, yep, that's 7. And then we move it 2 places, and we get, there we go. Okay, you could just use the calculator and type all this in if you want to do it like that. It's all about setting that problem up and then plugging those values in. So all the stuff we've already been practicing, kind of put together. Okay, so we've got P1 V1 over T1 equals P2 V2 over T2. Okay, a quantity of ideal gas has initial values of that. Find P2 if the final volume was that, and the final temperature. Solve the equation for P2. That's the first step, so we want to get P2 by itself. So we're going to say times T1, T2, and times T1, T2. And the main thing I'm doing here is the first step is trying to get rid of my fraction bar there. Get rid of the denominator. T2 cancels, and I'll have P2, V2, T1. And it asked me to solve for P2 as my first step, so I'm going to divide by this side. Alright, so I'm going to have P2 equals T2, P1, V1 over V2, T1. Now I just got to fill the values in. So pressure 2 equals, alright, I need temperature 2. Okay, so right up here, let's label these. That's my pressure 1. Okay, this is going to be my volume 1, and that's going to be my temperature 1. And then this one is going to be my volume 2, and this one is going to be my temperature 2. All right, on the top of my fraction, I need T2, temperature 2, so that's this one. And I'm going to change it to 3 times 10. Let's see, I moved that 1, 2, 3. 3 would be 4. 10 to the 4th. And then, so that's my T2. And now I need P1. P1 is on the top right here. Whoops, I already did P1. That was P1. T2, that's what oh, no, it's the same number. 1, 2, 3. So that'd be 3 times 10. Okay, and I moved it 3, so that's 14 minus 3 would be 11. Okay, and then the last one I need up here is volume 1. That's this one. That'd be 7 times 10. 1, 2, 3 to the negative 3. Alright, and then on the bottom I have V2 and T1. So my V2 is here. 3 times 10 squared. And then my T1 is 7, so 7 times 10 negative 3. Okay, I got the wrong value up top here. That was supposed to be volume 1, not temperature 1. So that's, oh, it is the same thing. 7 times 10 to the negative 3rd. This will be 7 times 1, positive 3rd. Okay, there we go. Alright, now I'm going to try to cancel some stuff. So I can cancel there, and then I can cancel there. So that's a 1, that's a 1, that's a 1, that's a 1. And then plus 3 minus 3. Nope, those won't cancel. This I could cancel. Make that be a 2. Okay. Alright, so now I'm going to have 1 times 3 times 1 would just be 3. And then I have 2 plus, what's that, 4? Let me see. 3 times 10 to the, let's see, that was the second one, P1. 13 minus 3, that was 11. Okay, so I have 2 and 11, 12, 13, minus 3 would be to the 10th. Okay, and then I've got 1 times 7. That would just be 1 times 10, and this is 1 plus 3 would be 3. Alright, and then we're going to subtract that 3, and we're going to get 3 times 10 to the 7th. And there's our answer for that one. 3 times 10 to the 7th. Alright, so just arrange your problem and plug the stuff in, and there's our answer to that one. Okay, I think next is the practice problem. So work that practice problem, pause the video, then come back and I'll work it for you. Alright, so here's our practice problem. And I'm going to go through here and label. So first we're going to have pressure, volume, and then temperature. So here is our pressure. That's P1. Our volume, this one's V1. And our temperature, and that one is T1. Then we're going to have our final pressure, so that's P2. and our final volume. So this one's going to be V2. We want to solve for T2. So we got T1 V1 over, no, P1 V1, pressure volume. Temperature equals pressure volume temperature. Okay, so we're going to multiply times T1, T2, and same thing over here. T1, T2, T1 cancels, and I'll have P1, V1, T2 equals T2 cancels, and I'll have P2, V2, T1, and I'm solving for T2, so I got to get rid of these. And I have T2 equals P2, V2, T1 over P1, V1. Alright, now I just have to start filling in my values. P2, that is here. Okay, so that would be 5 times 10. And I'm moving that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 places. That would be to the 9th. Okay, next I need, so that's this one. Okay, now I need V2, that's this one. So that would be 1.4 times 10, and I moved it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 places. So 8 minus 5 will be negative 13. And then the last one I have on top is T1, and T1 was right here. Okay, so we use that as T1, so that would be 3 times 10, and we moved it 1, 2, 10 to the 7th. All that's going over P1, which is right here. Move that once, so we're going to have 5 times 10 to the 4th. And then we're going to multiply that by V1, which is our last value, and that is here. So that would be 8 times 10, and we moved it 1, 2, 3. That would be negative 7. Alright, is there anything I can cancel? I can cancel these 5s. Okay, so now I need to multiply right there. 1.4 times 3. 3 times 4 is 12. 3 times 5 is 3, 4. And I get 4.2. So on my top, I'm going to have 4.2 times 10. And then I've got 9, negative 13, positive 7. 9 and 7 would be 16. Take away 13 would be 3. Right. Ooh, I see where another place where I can cancel. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. I can cancel this 7 and no, because when I move that up, that would be plus 7. Okay. Times 10 to the 9 minus 13 would be positive 4. Negative 4, 13 would be let's see, that would be positive 16 minus 13, that would be 3. Alright, down here we're going to have 1 times 8 will be 8 times 10, and then we'll put those two together, that would be negative 3. Okay, 4.2 divided by 8 times 8. 8 times 5 is 40. Times 2 is 16. to 5.525 times 10. That would be plus 3 to 6. We're going to move that 1. 5.25 times 10 to the 5th. All right, let me double check this answer. Okay, their answer in the book is 525. Oh, that is correct, because if I moved 1, 2, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so that's the correct answer. You can have that, or if you had it written like that, that's fine as well. So either one of those could be counted as the answer, because they mean the exact same thing. All right, so for these, just be real careful at how you set it up. Go through your problem and label everything, even if you have to like make a little note to the side and write it down, and then just fill in your values. And then we've been working with scientific notation and exponents and decimals. And in the last lesson, we learned how to do that with a calculator, so you could use a calculator to do all this. So it shouldn't be that super hard. All right, thanks for watching.